The Democrats getting their panties in a twist at the first ever House DOGE subcommittee hearing. Lawmakers are still fuming over Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to rein in sex changes for Guatemalans and limestone paperwork mines for retirees. Weird.
He was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie.
We do not work for an unelected billionaire like apparently this guy does.
In the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. This, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. We know that he is leading a power grab also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump.
They want to look into your kids' lunch money. It's about helping Elon Musk and Donald Trump be as efficient as possible in robbing our government.
But it could have been a lot worse. At least they didn't burst into song.
Which side are you on? We'll fight against DOGE. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon scab within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk.
Which side are you on? The losing side. But the Obama pod bros are taking a different approach, lamenting how DOGE beat them to the punch.
I've seen the messaging memos, and it's like, you know, the young people, Gen Z, they like DOGE and what Elon's doing. We all know that government is slow. We all know that government can be inefficient. We all know that the bureaucracy can be bloated. We all worked in the White House. We tried to reorganize the government. We tried to find efficiency. It's hard to do.
And honestly, some of this is pretty annoying because it's some of the stuff we should have done.
Right, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, you could do some of this.
They're working through the stages of grief. And happening just moments ago, President Trump defending Musk from the constant attacks from the left.
But I want to commend Elon because he's done a fantastic. He doesn't need this. You know, he's abused by you people every day. He's found more things than anybody could find. I think he's got the credibility to do it. I know he does.
You know, Jesse, the Gutfeld theory of public singing, you know you've run out of ideas if you feel compelled to burst into song.
When you're singing, you're losing.
Yes.
The Democrats look like Code Pink with better clothes. Greg, they are losing the information war. And it's easy because there's no victims they're pointing to. Where are the children going hungry? Where are the veterans that can't get aid at the VA? There's none. The victim is the taxpayer. Obama did try to figure this out, but he failed. We have a retirement paperwork cave where like hundreds of people are working for the government and writing things out in longhand. He tried to computerize it for $100 million, failed, so hired more people to work in the cave. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Musk is working for Trump. Trump hired the world's richest man. Right. That's a flex. That's what you call a power move. And he's working for free. It's like good cop, bad cop. Musk is going out there and firing people and cutting spending, and Trump's just at the Super Bowl and bringing hostages home. That's okay. And he's only going to do this for about a year and a half. I think there's the deadline. Yeah. It's kind of like this show. Greg Gutfeld is like Musk. He's the bad cop. He whines, he complains, he kind of makes moves and gets things done for the rest of us. Well, I sit back and look good. That's what's going on right now.
Wow. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. You know, Dana, this cave thing is insane. Do you know a lot of, okay, how come we didn't know about this?
We did. No, and actually many reporters have reported on over the years. In 2014, there was a big piece in the Washington Post, and then Selena Zito did it. And it's just like, what's going on here? So that's why the Pod Save America guys are like, yeah, we know about these things, and they were ineffective in getting anything done because you bump up against the bureaucratic wall. You have other priorities. You're like, fine, do the retirement under the ground, whatever. But when you have somebody like Elon Musk working for free and they've got all the young people saying that we can fix this in 10 minutes, like, let's go ahead and do it. When the Dems were singing today, I thought about the judge. Because, not because she sings,
Me too.
but the Democrats can't prosecute their case. And if this was in front of her courtroom, I feel like you would say, in my chambers, and say, get it together, using your book title, and say, you guys are making fools of yourselves, and I'm trying to help you here. And if not, I'm going to call a mistrial, and you're out. The Democrats are doing three things wrong. One, they're making it about the age of the engineers. They already lost young people. Why do you want to lose more of these young people? They also are rallying behind unpopular government workers. I know there are a lot of great government workers who have dedicated their lives and their careers. I know all of that. But we do know that there are a lot of people who have been coasting for a long time on the taxpayer dollars, and there's just not a lot of sympathy there. And three, they are dying on the dumbest hills, defending USAID, defending the CFPB, and saying it was about consumers, saying that it's so outrageous. There's a constitutional crisis because someone put out a tweet, and then they think that the 28th Amendment is real because Biden put out a tweet about the Equal Rights Amendment. All of this is discoverable, and they are just terrible at prosecuting their case.
Yeah, you know, today, Judge, this guy, Hayward Talcone, doesn't matter, said you could save $1 trillion a year from the entitlement program abuse.
Right.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good high ground for the Republicans. Where can the Dems, what are the Dems going to do?
The whole thing is absurd. It absolutely makes no sense. You have a war on waste, and the Democrats are, you know, they're having a breakdown over the thing. You know, their biggest argument is that Elon Musk is unelected. Yeah. No one else in the executive branch is elected. Right. Only the president is elected. Why aren't you complaining about other people? At least the government's not paying Elon Musk. The guy's working for free. No one else is elected. And the crazy part about it, this guy that you were talking about, Targlov, what's his name?
His name is Haywood.
Haywood Talcone.
Right.
Talcone.
Yeah. Well, one of the things he talked about is that 20% of the government expenditures amount to waste and fraud, whereas in the private sector, only 3% is waste and fraud. And when you put that together with what Musk was talking about yesterday when he was in the Oval Office, which is one of the images that people object to, he said, you know what, how is it the people who only make a couple $100,000 a year end up owning, you know, having tens of millions of dollars after they serve in Congress? Clearly, there's something off here. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. So
the funny thing is, Musk is.
Yeah, that's right. That's very good. And finally, this is what the American people wanted. They voted for it, and they're getting it.
You know, Harold, is this the time when you step in and go, but it's not constitutional? The Congress is known as the purse for a reason. Well, I'll have you know that, you know, USAID was founded on an executive order, so I'll just kill that idea.
But it's funded every year. Look, I'm glad to be back with everybody. It's good to see no one's lost their ability to get fired up. I'd say just a couple things. I support what Elon Musk is doing. I think that this whole idea about finding things in government that aren't working, finding things we're paying too much for, we should figure out ways to do it. Judge, I think when he was talking about the people making a couple $100,000 and now being worth tens of millions, he was talking about people in the executive branch. I thought that's why I interpreted.
No, he was talking about Congress.
No, I think he was also.
Well, you know what? We can both win on that because I can definitely point to people in Congress who came in with virtually nothing and left with tens of millions.
So I hope that as he's looking at, I don't know those people. I'd love to learn those people.
I'll tell you in the break.
I only get a minute.
Does one of them rhyme with Harold Ford?
People, Mr. Musk has every right to do what he's doing. When people say that he's not elected, but the others had to go through a confirmation hearing and an oath and then sign documents saying they're not going to conflict themselves. I believe he won't do it, and I believe the president's going to hold them to it. Two, at the end of the day, if what the president and Mr. Musk really want to do is to figure out ways in which to reduce spending, you can't do it the way you're doing it. You got to do it going forward. The president ought to submit a budget and zero out USAID, zero out the Department of Education. The things they're trying to do, I think why Democrats are so frustrated, I think even some Republicans, Judge, and everyone around the table, is that we all said since November that Donald Trump has essentially been the president of the United States, that Joe Biden disappeared from the stage, and that Donald Trump was running things. Now he's officially running things. So now that you're officially running things, there's no need to look back. If you want to zero out salaries of people at departments or agencies that aren't working, zero them out. But you can't go back and do it the way you're doing it. We have something called Marbury versus Madison, which the judge certainly knows, which says that courts and judges have the absolute right to determine the constitutionality of laws and statutes. No one has said that the president can't go forward and say zero these things out. I think Democrats, and they're very clumsy, I would agree. I don't know why you have to sing. Please stop singing if you're going to oppose what he's doing, and just say we oppose it, and these are the reasons we oppose it. I differ with Democrats who oppose him because he's trying to reform it. I agree with them when they say he can't go backwards or retrospectively try to do this. Finally, to Mr. Musk, now, I got a lot of thoughts. We got a couple more segments here. If we're going to find ways in which to balance the budget, let's look for some big items. I mean, denying nutrition programs for people in rural America, that's not big. Trying to cancel or minimize Alzheimer's and cancer research, come on, give me a break. And finally, wear a blazer when you go into the White House, when you go into the Oval Office. I'm a big believer. I told John Fetterman to put a suit on when he goes to the floor. Put a blazer on when you stand next to the president and tell us when you're going to dictate and educate us on how we should reform our government and reduce spending. Something I think you're largely right on.
All right. Well, you know, Harold, I have to take umbrage with the whole moving forward thing.
Yeah.
If somebody commits a crime and somebody tells you, you know, you should move forward, you have to look backward if a crime is committed. You have to look and see if saying you're going to move forward basically absolves the people of the horrible things they did.
He would be absolving himself, too. He was president 5 years ago, right? All I'm saying is zero it out. What they're trying to do is unconstitutional. No one around the table wants to admit it, but they can't go backwards and say, take that funding away. You can only go forward. It was signed into law. The reason the TikTok law is the law is because Congress passed it, the president signed it, and it has the added advantage of having the Supreme Court of the United States ratify it as a law. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Let's agree to disagree.
He
got me.
Yeah, basically what you're saying is just let them keep paying all these people until next year. I don't think that works.
Well, how can you do it otherwise? What's the law? Tell me, Judge, how do you do that?
Look at the Department of Education.
Tell me, how do you do it?
Let me answer you. Department of Education was created by an executive order by Jimmy Carter. And you know what? If Donald Trump wants to destroy it by executive order, he should be able to do the same thing. So let's not act like this is just something that is only capable of being done by Congress. Because the truth is that is fraud and corruption. I have to look the other way if there's fraud and corruption.
You correct
or
it.
People are getting kickbacks. No, I prosecute it.
Can you go back?
I prosecute it and I stop it.
Exactly. That's exactly what he should do.
That's what he's doing right now.
You can't go back.
I don't want my money.
I know you don't. Look, these are just facts that are uncomfortable.
But that's a good point. It started by executive order, ended by executive order.
But they funded it by Congress. The
Don't
attack
me with facts. Coming up, Dems try to pin the nightmare of Bidenflation on President Trump.